Hey guys, Xana here. I'm bringing you today Chess Archfiends. What are Chess Archfiends? Well, they're these little subset of Archfiends that came out originally before, good Archfiends. But, yeah, that should tell you all you really need to know about them. Basically, they are a archetype that makes you pay life points every standby phase and have really mediocre effects. But the good thing is, if they get targeted by the opponent's card effect, you can roll a six-sided die, and if the result is the number they have, they get to negate the effect. They're not very good, so I try to make them a little bit better by throwing in some of the normal Archfiend cards, but, trying to keep the center around the Chess Archfiends. Still didn't work out. It's just still fairly bad. I try to base it around a sort of destruction thing by using Supply Squad and Pandemonium to plus off of, but in the end they were just too slow to get out on the field. Like, if I had a way to get them out faster, which is why I added in Call of the Haunted, it probably would have worked a little bit better. But in general, I just lost too much hand advantage against like normal trap cards. So anyway, let's get to the deck profile. Starting off with two Archfiend Emperors. Pretty staple Archfiend card. You can normal summon it without attributing, but attack and defense get cut in half. And you can banish one Archfiend card from your hand or graveyard, then target one card on the field to destroy the target. This isn't a Chess Archfiend card, but I like running two in any Archfiend deck because it's just really good. Like, you can go into some level 8s, which I don't have because I never thought I would get two of these guys out at the same time with how slow this deck was. And you get to pop cards, which is really just a really good thing, especially in this deck, which doesn't really have a lot of that capability. And now we're on to our first Chest Archfiend card, which is Shadow Knight Archfiend. And his effect is you gotta pay 900 life points per standby phase. And when it gets targeted for a card effect, you get to roll a dice, and if the result is 3, negate the effect and destroy the opponent's card. Which is good in, like, theory, but so many things just straight out destroy without even targeting. I suppose if maybe they use compulsory on him, maybe, but then you got a 1 in 6 chance, so that's basically not even a pro. And Shadow Knight Archfiend does have 2,000 attack, so you can get over some big stuff. And the battle damage is half, though, which is, the problem with this guy. On to Terror King Archfiend. He also has 2,000 attack, and he can't be normal summoned without another Archfiend card out. Well, another Archfiend monster. And you gotta pay 800 for him per standby phase, and 2 or 5 for the 6-sided die. And his results effects a bit better when he destroys the opponent's card. The effect of a monster that was destroyed is negated, which is pretty decent. Like Shaddolls, that's a pretty good card against them. But again, you can't get him out with another Archfiend monster there. So, Archfiend Cavalry, not a Archfiend chess card, but good. So I threw him in there. Basically, if he gets destroyed by card effect, you can special summon another Archfiend monster in your graveyard. Really excellent, really couples into the destruction-based theme I was going around with the deck. But, not enough to save it. Archfiend Eater. This isn't a fiend, but it's still technically an Archfiend, so I like throwing him in because, again, fills in with the destruction. Can set up Supply Squad, Pandemonium. Really great. And if I have like a XYZ monster with no material, he's really great to just destroy him and then go into another play with another level 4 in the next turn. He's just a really good card in general for any level 4 deck that can run Supply Squad. But in this deck, he worked out pretty well. I liked him. Infernal Queen Archfiend was probably one of my favorite Chess Archfiend cards. What happens is 500 life points standby phase, 2 or 5 negate the effect, but during each standby phase, increase the attack of one Archfiend monster card by 1,000 points until the end phase. Like that would get one of these guys up to 3,000, and every turn she's at least a 1,900. So another pro to this is these are all like really big monsters. Like half the monster lineup is at least 2,000, like including her, because she gets up to 1900 with her effect, so that's pretty decent. And then Deathstroke Archfiend, 500 life points. If the result is a 3 for a 6-sided die, negate the effect, blah blah blah. And he's only really effective when a Terror King Archfiend is on your side of the field and destroyed. You can send Deathstroke Archfiend instead of the Terror King Archfiend. I just threw him in here because he fit with the Archetype. Like, he's alright, and he's also a Tour Guide target, but since she's at 1, it doesn't really matter. And then, Tour Guide, obviously, level 3 Fiends, I'm going to use her. And Archfiend Eris, MVP of any Archfiend deck right here. Basically, she's a level 3 Fiend type Dark Monster, so, Tour Guide from the Underworld until Burning Abyss made her at 1, sons of bitches. Anyway, Archfiend Eris basically just searches out anything when she's sent to the graveyard, so that's off of like an XYZ play, or Foolish Burial, which I have over there. Foolish Burial is basically just for her, or if anyone gets something in the graveyard for Call of the Haunted or Archfiend's Roar. But Archfiend Eris can really just search out most things in the deck, like most of the monsters. She can search out their Call of the Haunted. A really, really great card. Always run 3 of her in any Archfiend deck. Then we have Raigeki, staple. Foolish Burial, again, Eris. Supply Squad fit in with the theme for destroying in the deck. I usually really like decks themed around like destroying your own cards to plus, like Scraps. It's one of my favorite decks of all time. You can make some crazy fields with one of my deck profiles, but yeah, in this deck it just really didn't work out. It was useful as always, but it's a little too slow. Falling Down. I really should have played this at 3 because this is like one of the best Archfiend cards you can get. Basically, if you have an Archfiend monster out, you can use this card to steal an opponent's monster, like Snatch Steal, basically. So think Comic Hand, but like a little bit worse because you need an Archfiend monster out. But it lets you go into these plays a lot quicker, and this was basically the only way I was able to get into Exceed plays. And then Pandemonium, it mitigates the effect for life point drain that the chess monsters have at each standby phase, which really wasn't too much of an issue even when I didn't have Pandemonium out, but it was nice and it fit with the deck profile. And also, whenever a monster is destroyed, you can add a monster a level lower to your hand from your deck, which sounds nice on paper, but what ended up happening was every time I had a field where I could destroy my monsters, I ended up getting every Archfiend Eris in my hand. So Foolish was dead, and Tour Guide was nearly dead. Thank God for Deathstroke Archfiend. But yeah, if you want, you can go with the other Archfiend card, like Archfiend is one. It's called a Palace or something. Palabyrinth gives them 500 attack. So these guys become like 2400, 2500, which is good. And if you have 2 of the Archfiends out, you can banish one of them to special summon another one, which I don't really have a use for. That would go in more into like level 6 oriented Archfiend decks. Really, I should use the level 6 monsters in here out well. And then, staple traps like Bottomless, Torrential, Ring of Destruction, Compulsory, Solemn, and Call of the Haunted and Archfiend's Roar because I really needed to work the graveyard. Now, oh yeah, and a basic level 4, level 3 sort of toolbox for the XYZs. I would not recommend playing this. Like, it's a little bit of fun. I'll give it that. Like, when you get like a big monster out there and you can like destroy your own monsters to plus, it's a lot of fun. But there are just better decks than this, like even like non-meta. So once again, we have 2 Archfiend Emperors, 3 Shadow Knights, 3 Terror Kings, 2 Cavalry, 1 Nefarious Archfiend Eater of Nefariousness, love that name, 3 Infernal Queen, 1 Deathstroke, 1 Tour Guide, 3 Eris, 1 Raigeki, 1 Foolish, 3 Supply Squad, 2 Falling Down, should be 3, Pandemonium, at 3, Bottomless Trap Hole, Torrential Tribute, 3 Archfiend Roar, Ring of Destruction, Compulsory Evacuation Device, and 3 Call of the Haunted, with a Solemn Warning at the very end, just to top it off. Alright.